For our spy creatures, being immersed in the world of animals is not without its hazards. In Rajasthan, the temple langurs have taken Spy Monkey into the heart of the family. But some are keen to take the budding relationship to the next level and are getting a little too familiar. One seems to want to babysit her. But disaster strikes. An injured baby is a cause for concern. And this langur seems to believe she's died. Then, something extraordinary happens. The monkeys gather round the motionless spy creature as if it is a real baby. They react just as they do when their own babies die. A calm and contemplative mood descends on the colony. There's a sense of grief, as well as empathy for one another. Quite accidentally, our spy creature is at the centre of something extraordinary, capturing emotions that have rarely been observed. Such apparent expressions of grief may not be unique to primates. In the forests of Senegal, Spy Bush Baby is part of a team of spy cameras capturing intimate views of our closest living relatives. Here, the family lives a charmed existence. Parental love and friendships form the foundation of their society. Spy Tortoise is also being deployed. But these are highly perceptive animals. And something's not quite right. This 5-year-old checks what the others are thinking. They seem equally baffled. But with his curiosity piqued, he simply can't stay away. As his interest grows, so does the strength of his feelings. He just has to have Spy Tortoise all to himself. He hides with it in his leafy daybed, where he'd normally take a nap. But he's too excited to sleep. He's torn between using it as a pillow and giving it a cuddle. It's somewhere between a toy and a pet. It's definitely not for sharing. Chimps don't normally have possessions, but Spy Tortoise has stirred new emotions. Each autumn, a squirrel buries around 10,000 nuts. Its memory is so phenomenal, it can retrieve up to 4,000 of them. To achieve this feat, as winter approaches, the area of the brain responsible for memory enlarges 15%. The squirrels show another brainy trait: cunning. A spy squirrel bearing gifts is ready to record their devious behaviour. He looks a soft touch, but the squirrel needs to be sure. He lashes his tail to show confidence. Fluffing it up makes him appear bigger and shows who's boss. Spy Squirrel is a pushover. He's going to be popular. The nut is immediately stashed away. But clever minds can also be devious. And this squirrel watches where the nut is hidden. As soon as it's buried, she makes her move. Okay if you don't get caught, but there's big trouble if you do. The duped squirrel needs to be craftier this time. The crook may still be watching, but this is what he wants. In a shameless display of overacting, he pretends to bury his nut. The thief waits until the performance is over, then quietly sneaks in. But there's no nut to pilfer here. Hardly surprising. It's stashed in his intended victim's mouth. With the nut raider preoccupied, he can either eat it or bury it secretly. But the thief hasn't abandoned her life of crime. Spy Squirrel has a new nut, one with a camera. Theft is such an easy option. Around a fifth of all squirrels steal nuts rather than forage for them. It's a crafty way of letting others do the hard work. But this time, the thief has picked the wrong nut. A At a jungle hut, this female finds a saw. Despite being totally wild, somehow she has worked out what to do with it. Like us, orangutans have an opposable thumb that allows them to grasp and handle objects with precision. Over 20 years ago, a rescue orangutan learned how to saw by watching people constructing the huts here. But this is a totally different and wild orangutan. She seems to take pride in her work, even clearing away the sawdust. She's so smart, she uses her feet as a vice to steady the branch. Filming a wild-born and free-living orangutan mastering this complex task is remarkable. But now, she's not the only orangutan sawing. Spy orangutan has joined her. It seems to be bringing out a competitive streak. She's becoming even more enthusiastic. But for a novice, sawing is tiring work. She's lost all momentum. Then, finally, calls it a day. Spy orangutan may have machine-like stamina, but it's the astonishing and versatile mind of the real orangutan that's won the day. She's certainly earned her rest. They are one of the most intelligent animals on Earth. To film the behaviour of these shrewd primates requires an exceptionally lifelike spy creature. To be totally convincing, spy orangutan must mimic their facial expressions. Rather than bare her teeth, she needs to appear friendly. By sending out the right signals, she soon draws attention. Adult males are always interested in any new female. But he needs some convincing that all is quite what it seems. Spy orangutan pouts her mouth, a sign she's not a threat. As news gets around, a young male comes to investigate. But he too seems unsure. Time for some careful reflection. He keeps a safe distance and finds an imaginative way to test the spy creature's reactions. It's a somewhat unorthodox way to make new friends. Solving problems creatively is proof of a clever mind. Over time, as more orangutans visit the strange new creature, confidence grows that she's not a threat. One youngster seems especially curious. Young orangutans learn by constantly interrogating their surroundings and everything in it. Spy orangutan captures a unique view of an intelligent young mind developing. curiosity satisfied, he heads back. Among these orangutans, the thirst for knowledge has inspired some astonishing behaviour. Careful to keep her baby dry, the mother leaves the jungle to visit an old research outpost. This is the human world, a treasure trove for inquiring minds. She quietly helps herself. A bar of soap. She carries her find in her mouth back to the forest. And joins a friend. They appear to use the soap just as we would. Around 40 years ago, rescued orangutans released here learnt to use soap by watching local people washing in the river. But remarkably, these orangutans were born in the wild, so the idea has spread among the wild population. The sharing of the soap suggests how new orangutans may have learnt the technique. It's become a form of animal culture, passed on to the young, something only seen among a few intelligent species. Why they are so keen to lather up is intriguing and not completely understood. But then nearby, a female does something that might shed light on this extraordinary behaviour. She chews a piece of bark and creates a frothy lather in her mouth, just like soap suds. Rubbing it on her arm, she makes the same movements as she would if washing with soap. But then starts to eat it. Orangutans are known to use medicinal leaves in similar ways, so perhaps the bark has therapeutic qualities too. Maybe soap washing caught on so easily because it mirrored their natural behaviour. They also eat the suds, and strangely they seem to enjoy the taste. It doesn't harm them in any way. Perhaps it aids their digestion too. And now, Spy Orangutan gives it a try. Much to the real one's fascination. Intelligent curiosity is vital for orangutan survival in a complex jungle world. She's the biggest meerkat they've ever seen and requires serious examination. She's been made to smell like the colony, so this reassures them. Each day, different volunteers set up a creche, giving all the child support a mother could wish for. They share roles, including sentry duty. It demands concentration, and it's easy to lose focus. And sometimes it's good to have someone watching your back. Being a sentry is a risky business, as they are easy targets for predators. But with young pups to protect, they take greater risks by climbing higher. Here, they can see predators earlier, but are vulnerable to birds of prey. Their self-sacrifice is about to be tested. But this is no ordinary cobra. It's a spy cobra. With no regard for her own safety, she prepares to face the snake. She reacts as she would to the real thing, bravely protecting the colony with no thought for herself. Her aim is to harass the snake into leaving. But with Spy Snake holding its ground, the meerkat calls for reinforcements. This is where fraternity comes into its own. An intimidating wall of meerkats face up to Spy Cobra. They push their luck as far as they dare, goading the snake to strike. Real snakes tire easily, so it's a matter of wearing it down. But one meerkat senses there's something different about this serpent. It may look and move like a real snake, but it shows no sign of leaving. Spy Snake has been well and truly rumbled. Satisfied he's harmless, the meerkats go back to what they enjoy best: relaxing among friends. Every lake and river has a resident population of hippos. They too are social creatures, but they are also territorial. Spy Hippo is going where few others dare to go. He needs to be cautious. His subjects are notoriously bad-tempered, and they could be anywhere. It's never a good idea to get on their wrong side. Spy Hippo has been given a warning. He must avoid sudden movements. As he gets closer, ear wiggling shows confidence. Facing one of Africa's most dangerous animals, Spy Hippo must hold his ground. The pod is made up of females, looked over by a single male. Fortunately, females are less aggressive. Spy Hippo is already capturing some of the closest views that have ever been seen. But hippos spend much of their time below the surface. As the hippos dive, so must Spy Hippo. He mimics their movements. Rather than swim, hippos walk underwater. Through the murk, spy hippo glimpses an extraordinary sight. Fish are shadowing the hippo's every move. These are barbs. They usually feed on the riverbed, but when the hippos appear, they shoal around them. As spy hippo moves closer, it's clear that their skin is a maze of cuts and scratches. These fight marks easily become infected, and parasites can also invade. This is where the fish come in. Together, they set up an underwater clinic with the hippos as willing patients. The barbs may be skin specialists, but they'll try a bit of dental hygiene too. After having a full body treatment, the hippos seem to enter a trance. The rainforests of eastern Australia are the stage for perhaps the sneakiest criminals of the lot. This is the satin bowerbird, a creature with a bad case of kleptomania. It doesn't stop at weaving twigs, he likes home decor too. Blue is his favourite colour. Bottle tops nicked from a nearby campsite are his proudest possessions. He has an eye for detail too, placing them precisely for maximum visual impact. She makes all the right moves, entering the bower to show she's interested. A ring makes the perfect gift. Not impressed? How about a bouquet of flowers? But something's not quite right. The penny drops. He's been duped. This isn't a female at all. It's a young male in disguise. And he's here to steal. He's part of a gang of juvenile delinquents roaming the forest, tricking unwary males. In their hideout, they display their ill-gotten gains. It takes up to 7 years for a male bowerbird to reach maturity. In the meantime, they practice making a bower and dancing for each other. But they can never have too many blue trinkets and bling. Time to go out stealing again. And bowers don't come more decadently inviting than this. But this is no ordinary bower. It's occupied by a male spy bowerbird and adorned with an irresistible array of blue treasure and dual cameras, all perfectly placed to catch the thieves in the act. Like professionals, they approach with caution. Once again, they pretend to be courting females. This time, they work together. One distracts as the other steals the jewels. Spy bowerbird can only observe as they clean out the bower, gem by precious gem. Back home with their stolen goods,
they continue to practice their courtship techniques. But spy bowerbird isn't off the hook. The male bowerbird who was their first victim needs to replenish his bower. Well, if you can't beat them, you may as well join them. Off the coast of South Africa, more adolescents have reached that difficult age. At 2 years old, male bottlenose dolphins leave their mother's pod to form boisterous gangs looking for excitement. They like nothing better than surfing. Spy turtle is here to see what they get up to. He in turn is joined by another spy creature. This is spy puffer, based on a fish that blows itself into a defensive puffball. The spy creatures are here to film these teenage tearaways. Spy puffer faces a bumpy ride. Bust-ups are common. It's easy to get caught in the middle. Young males are so unruly the females kick them out of the family pod. This isn't spy puffer, it's a real pufferfish. The poor creature gets the same rough treatment. Perfect for a game of catch. But the dolphins are dicing with death. Pufferfish are one of the most poisonous fish in the ocean. They exude a powerful nerve poison called tetrodotoxin. It only takes a small amount to kill a human. Even so, the dolphins often look for pufferfish and love to chew on them. Taken in small doses, the secretions seem to have a narcotic effect. The dolphins are careful not to swallow them. Instead, they hold them gently in their mouths. Despite the risks, passing the puffer has become a popular dolphin pastime. Luckily, the little fishes usually survive the strange experience. To help with the filming, Spy Egret has backup. This is Dung Cam, a camera based on a pile of elephant poo. It even smells the part. It's designed to film on the move. Its zoom lens can capture the elephant's every move. That's not all. It can release a team of spy dung balls to litter the savannah with yet more cameras. One dung ball is radio controlled and can travel without any visible moving parts. With the action covered from every angle, it's time to see what this elephant family gets up to. The babies must learn the rules of behaviour at an early age. Wrestling older siblings is a favourite pastime. They learn their own strength and, crucially, how to play nicely with each other. It's the older elephants who make sure they don't cross the line. It takes a few years before they're big enough to do real damage. But as they get older, they need to be reined in. Those who overstep the mark soon know it. The rules are strict for everyone when the family is on the move. To follow them, Spy Egret and Dung Cam join forces. For their own safety, the babies must stay next to their mothers in the centre of the herd. The elephants are heading to the swamp. A place to cool off as the day heats up. But the mud can be treacherous, and babies must only enter with their mums. But this little one seems to have forgotten the rules. Chasing egrets is irresistible. But as the herd enter the swamp, the baby is being left behind. Realising his predicament, he looks for his mother and thinks he's found her. He tags along as the group head into the swamp. But he's following the wrong elephant. With his mother nowhere to be seen, he's lost in a confusion of trunks and legs. The elephants head into the swamp without him. The baby is now alone and afraid. While his herd appear to have forgotten him. He can smell that his mother is out there, somewhere. But entering the swamp alone could be deadly for one so small. He's really starting to panic now. His mother is inexperienced. She's only just realised her mistake. Both will have learnt from what happened. He won't misbehave while the family are travelling again.